Good evening, everyone. Ridewith Peterson here. Today it is Monday, April 1st, 2019. It is now 10:12 in the evening. So I have added a couple more services to the collection of things I do as a gig worker, you could say. I am on Postmates and I'm on DoorDash, and I like delivery. It's pretty cool. Now, DoorDash has been good. No, Postmates has been good, but DoorDash has been great. I've been making good money on DoorDash, but it's a little different with DoorDash. But I think I like it. We'll see how it goes. I'll make a follow-up video on how those go. I'm having some dilemmas with rideshare in general, and I don't know how much I should talk about the problems that I'm dealing with rideshare. But let's just say that I'm being rocked to the core with how I feel about rideshare these days. In particular, about the situation that has happened with the young lady in South Carolina. When you read reports, when you watch reports, when you learn of reports like that, it really makes you think about this thing that we do, and some of the things that the companies should do to make it safer for all of us. For example, most laws, if not all laws, in various countries, in various states that regulate transportation services, they generally require taxi cab drivers to be fingerprinted. But the rideshare companies said, no, you don't need to be fingerprinted. But just last week, there was a report where there was a man who committed a heinous murder 20 years ago, was walking around as a free man, and the only way they found him was because he applied for a job as a nursing assistant. And he was so bold to have his fingerprints ran, he thought that, hey, time would forget about what he did. But his fingerprints were taken. They identified the man. They took his DNA. His blood was all over the place at the crime scene. And after 20 years, they found the man who killed this lady who was about to celebrate her retirement with her husband. Tragic story. But that is the power of fingerprinting. You know, we drivers, we tell Uber, we need help when dealing with the underage children. But Uber doesn't help us. Lyft doesn't help us. Instead, the drivers are left to fend for themselves. This whole thing will be fixed if Uber and Lyft would simply say, hey, fingerprint the drivers. They won't even give us an option to add an additional category of saying, hey, if you want a driver who is fingerprinted, we can give that to you. So, to go back to the focus of this video, there's a concept in the military called challenge and response. And what the rideshare companies should do is they should implement this in the app. It's really simple to do, really fast to implement, and it should add considerably to the amount of safety that we have. This is how I think it should work. When the driver approaches the pickup location for the rider, for the customer. Two blocks will show up on the screen. Two buttons will show up. And let's say one button is green and one button is blue. Work with me because I'm not going to do any fancy graphics with this. I'm just going to point it out to you. The green button is what the driver will say. The blue button is what the customer will say. It doesn't matter who says what. So on the screen, imagine this. Let's say for green, the driver has 11 Alpha 1. That's the green screen. And then the blue screen says 22 Bravo 2 for blue, okay? So the passenger comes to the rear door of the car. The driver rolls down the window. Now, on the customer side, their green screen will say 22 Alpha 2, and their blue screen will say 11 Alpha 1. In other words, green is what you say, blue is what the response is. When the customer says 22 Alpha 2, I, the driver, am going to tap the blue button. Then my response will be 11 Alpha 1, and the passenger will type their blue screen. And when that happens, the ride starts. It's really simple. It can be randomized to whatever. I recommend 2 numbers. The word Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta in military terms, and then a single-digit number. And hey, it's easy, it's fast, it's simple. I know somebody has an attachment that can be added to it. Another thing that really should be done is these apps should have ID scanners in them. So if there is ever an issue with an underage rider, or you're worried about the identity of someone, the driver can take the app and they can say, hey, I need to scan your ID card. It is a requirement that we scan your ID card. And all it's doing is simply proving the age. But also, the rideshare companies, they really do need to start fingerprinting the drivers, because it's gotten to the point now where people's safety is at risk. I am fingerprinted by the Department of Justice. I've been fingerprinted ever since I was 17 years old. So my identity can easily be proven. I went through a checker scan for DoorDash, and hey, I got approved on the spot because, you know, all my identifying information was ran through checker. But as a backup, my fingerprints should still be scanned. That's what happened when I wanted to become a bus operator. That's what happened when I was in the military. What else? They ran my ID for something else. Oh, and when I worked for the city of Los Angeles, my fingerprints have always been in the system. So it is an abomination. It truly is an abomination that Uber and Lyft, multi-billion-dollar companies that want people to invest money in them, companies that basically brag about what they have done in the marketplace, won't do something as simple as saying, hey, you know what? We're going to fingerprint the drivers. I'm having a lot of serious moral issues working for rideshare. I really am. I am each day that I even talk about being a rideshare driver, I'm ashamed. I truly am ashamed. And that's why I'm seeking out other opportunities at this point. You know, I'll make another video about it. I didn't really want to get into it at all, or really get into it with this video. But I have very, very strong feelings about this. And it all started when it's actually been percolating for about a year. But it has gotten particularly strong when the rates were dropped. And I think it deserves a video that speaks more to it. So I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave me your comments regarding the challenge response security protocol, and how you feel about ID scanners and things of that nature, and also how you feel about drivers being fingerprinted. My thing is this: if you are a driver and you do not want to be fingerprinted, you honestly should not be driving. This clearly isn't for you. If you have a problem with being fingerprinted, you shouldn't be doing this job. Just my opinion. All right, take care. Have a good one.